My plants are on summer vacation. So earlier this spring, I decided that I was going to bring my houseplants outside and let them enjoy some of the sunshine and warm weather and humidity that comes along with the summer. And the response from my plants was amazing. They've actually grown quite a bit and filled out a lot of foliage. And I think this will be something that I will do every spring. So this plant here is a pothos, and I have this on top of one of my kitchen cabinets. I try to keep a lot of the plants out of the reach of our dog. He is a pup. He actually turns 1 tomorrow. And some houseplants can be poisonous to dogs, so you clearly don't want to keep anything that would harm your animals within their reach. And he's a little Italian greyhound, and I swear that he has springs in his paws, and he can jump quite high. So I had this one over the kitchen cabinet. I kid you not when I say that this probably had, so this had about 4 leaves on it when I brought it out here in the spring, and it has a bunch of new growth and a bunch of new leaves that are opening up, and it's starting to trail, which is exactly what I wanted because it looks so pretty from the top of the cabinet trailing downward. I also have here a ficus. It's a houseplant ficus burgundy, and this one the dog did jump and grab some of its leaves. So when it came out here, it had one lone soldier sticking up, and now it has 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th one about to unroll there. So this is a really cool looking tree, looking plant. It looks like a tree, looks like a plant, and it also has these like big rubbery feeling leaves. It's just a really cool plant. So I got that one to kind of just add a little mix in the house plants. Good idea to always keep these tags, because that way you know the name of the plant, and then you can research their light requirements, if you need to fertilize them, and so forth. So this plant here, it doesn't look great, even with the summer heat and regular watering. I'm not sure what its deal is, but I got this one mostly because I really enjoyed the texture of the leaves. They have like this burgundy veining through them, and they're kind of crunchy. My dog also got to that one. And so let's see. This one is called a houseplant Pilea Moon Valley. I bought these at a greenhouse not too far from my town, and Peckham's Greenhouse. They're a great place. I love to visit them. They have a ton of variety and just an amazing greenhouse. So when the weather, we had like one nice day back in February, and I decided that I needed houseplants because I was getting the gardening bug, and so that's what I did. I went and treated myself to a couple houseplants. This one here, though, was a baby spider plant that was given to me by my coworker. I stuck it in this pot. It's not even really a proper pot. It's just one of these little recycled containers, and it is doing amazing. So I'm going to pot this up with some new potting soil in a better vase because it's got a ton of growth. And I love the spider plants with the variegated leaves. There's so many varieties of these. I just happen to have this one that was given to me. This is my Christmas cactus. It has put on a ton of growth. See these little nubs coming out of the cactus? Those are all new growth. Just from these last couple of months, literally. So this one is ready to be potted up. I still have it in the greenhouse container. And so when I bring it back in another month and a half, I am going to pot it up, and I'm hoping that I will see some blooms this year. But I'll see. Some people say that these can be temperamental, and you don't always get blooms until they're quite an old plant and really established. But fingers crossed, we'll see something. These are like a beautiful, almost like a salmon pink color, because there was a bloom on it when I bought the plant, which is how I picked out the color. It was almost like an apricot salmon, like a peachy color. This is a serenity plant, or a peace lily. This plant's been around for a long time. It's been kicking for a while. I received a larger portion of this version of this plant. This is just a baby off of that when my grandfather passed away back in 2006. So it's about 13 years old now. And I've managed to just take cuttings off of it. They never seem to get too big before something goes wrong with it and it ends up browning up on me, kind of like this one's doing. But I always somehow manage to get a cutting off of it to start a new plant. So I'm just hoping that this will eventually get big and maybe some lilies will come through again. This plant that I have here is, what's this one called? This one is called a peperomia. And this one is also one that I picked based on what the foliage looked like. I think it's super cool looking. It's got a little bit of red veining. And this one has grown a ton. I had like 2 little nubs of this plant when I brought it back out here in May. And it is so nice and full now. So I would say that the plants definitely like being outside. The plant rack that I have all these houseplants on was even better score than any of these plants I bought. I got this thing for completely free. It was on a Facebook Marketplace post, and I could tell that it was white. I didn't know how sturdy it would be, but I picked it up, cleaned it off, and it's actually proven to be an awesome stand to keep these plants out here all summer. And here on the other corner of my deck, I have my majestic palm rather. I got this thing on clearance at Lowe's last summer for about $3, and it was a little dried up, shriveled twig. I put it in some potting mix. I left it out all summer. This thing filled out beautifully. It was humongous. It actually filled this whole corner. But then I brought it in the house, and a couple of months into having it in my dining room, my puppy got curious, and he started biting some of these branches off. And so when I brought it back out here, this one came out after the others. So maybe end of June, beginning of July. It's just recently started to recoup. So it's putting out some new growth, has some new shoots. And I think that if I leave it out here for another month, 6 weeks, it'll certainly catch up. I have a new sprout there. But yeah, so definitely also look at Lowe's in the clearance section for houseplants, because they discount those as well. And I just put a pot of rosemary up here on my little deck table. I love to cook with rosemary. It tastes great on chicken and pork chops. And I also love the smell of it. So anytime I'm out here watering my plants, I'll just kind of rub the leaves or cut a little piece off. And it just has a great little fragrance that I really enjoy. So I think this is going to become a house plant. When I bring all the other ones in, I'll probably find a home for this one in my kitchen. So that was it. I just wanted to document my houseplants. I have 2 other ones in the house that I'll see if I can take a quick shot of just to include in the video, so that I can go back and reference how big they were, how they were doing, and so forth. This here is one of my inside plants. They say that having plants in your bedroom will improve the air, and so we'll see about that. I added these 2. This one is a bird's nest fern, and so this one has to get potted soon. I've kind of left it in the nursery container as well to see how it would do in this room. It has a couple of leaves that I need to trim off, but overall it's doing pretty well. And this one is one of those, there's an official name for it, Sansevieria, or somebody can correct me, I have no idea how to say it, but it's one of those snake plants, or mother-in-law's tongue. And this one's gotten big, actually. It was really small when I first got it, and I picked this one up at Walmart for like $5. So it's doing pretty well. So that was it for my houseplant tour. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.